Hey everyone. Yes, I could go ahead. Yeah, it's after 8:30, so everybody's hopping on in. Hope you guys had a great day. Sunday's always a busy day, but good day for me. So it was beautiful outside, so hopefully you got some great vitamin D. I wanted to first off thank Leslie Ann for hosting this class tonight. I know I have added a lot of people, other people have added people, so there's lots of people in here, but wanted to thank her for getting this together and making the event and everything. Tonight's topic is going to be pregnancy, birth, and babies. And I've actually never taught a class on this, specifically on this, which is crazy in 4 years that I've never done that. And I'm excited I get to share about that with you tonight. It's something that after 2 kids and, you know, still obviously raising them, having one birth without essential oils, one with, and just, you know, not only oils, other things, just knew more, was more educated. It definitely made a huge difference. And so definitely could see that from one child to the next. So I'm going to share some of that with you tonight. Feel free to post questions. If you have comments on anything, post that. I hope that I can see the comments. Lots of times I can't for some reason. So if I can't, I'm sorry. I'll go back and answer them. If somebody could just comment to see if I'd love to know if I could see them. It's kind of interesting when you're doing a live video. Let me come in here in the group real quick. Let me see if I can find myself. Sorry about this, guys. I just wanted to make sure if I knew if I could see the comments or not. That's the joy of doing this on. Yes. Oh, I can't see the comments. I'll try to refresh them every now and then. I'm sorry about that. I really need to figure out. If anybody knows how I can fix this, please comment below and I'll figure it out after the class. But if I don't answer your question, I will get back to it. There's lots of other people on here that are very versed in especially essential oil usage and natural health in general. So hopefully maybe some of them can help you in the meantime. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about myself, and then I'll go into kind of my story as far as birth and babies and pregnancy goes, and then kind of go into a little bit about essential oils. I know this isn't going to be you know, very extensive on the basics. Have several other classes, and I continue recordings if you've never been to one, but I want to just go over a little bit about you know, what they are, why I chose the brand I did, different ways to use them very briefly. Then I'm going to go into pregnancy and some of the ways that you can use oils and natural remedies to help with things that come up, common concerns, and then birth and then baby. So that's kind of how the class will go. So a little bit about me. I'm a mom, obviously. I have 2 young children. One, a little girl that's almost 5. She'll be 5 in June, and then a little boy that just turned 2. And so obviously I have a husband too, so lovely little family, and love using essential oils and natural solutions on them. They're my guinea pigs, right? And then I'm a pharmacist by profession, but I'm very passionate about natural health, and over the past 4 years have learned just, you know, have really dug in deep just to learn as much as I could, still learn every day. And so the things that I'm going to be sharing with you, most all of these things, maybe not all, actually every single thing I experienced during pregnancy. Obviously, you know, everybody has a different pregnancy, but if I'm speaking to you about something, I'm speaking about personal experience. I'm not a medical doctor, so definitely check with your doctor if you're brand new to essential oils, and just kind of just take it slow. And I'll definitely mention that as I go through these things, but that's kind of a little bit about me. So I wanted to share with you some of my story as far as this topic were to go. And this is something that really, as a mom, I think that we all, we want better for our kids. And so this is something that really spurred me into change. When after I had my daughter, I kind of started looking at different things, and that's kind of how I brought essential oils, which is really, this is really, a natural pregnancy, birth, and babies class. But, I'm speaking from my own personal experience, and I know that essential oils are a key tool in living a natural life. So, a lot of the things I'll talk about will be around that. But a little bit about my story. So, after we had been married, I guess it was, probably 4 or 5 years, maybe not even that, probably three or four, we decided that we wanted to start a family. And so, I feel like I took pretty good care of myself, and really have always liked to take more of the natural route, but you do the best that you know. And so, I didn't have a whole lot of knowledge around that, but I really like to take care of myself always. And so, I had been on birth control for about 10 years, so of course you just think I'm going to come off that and everything's going to be great and I'm just going to get pregnant right away. And that just did not happen. So, 2 years went by, I still, had not conceived yet, and was just, didn't know what was going on. I felt very, just kind of unsure about the situation, didn't know what was going on. Just, it was a time of growth for me personally, so I'm very thankful for that, but it was something that, didn't come very easily for me. And so, once I did become pregnant, I had a pretty good pregnancy, delivered my little girl, did give an epidural during that pregnancy, but was able to deliver, vaginally, naturally, not have a C-section. So, things were going pretty well. Not like I had, a ton of complications or anything like that. But after that, I gave birth and everything, I just remember feeling like things were not, kind of out of control. My hormones were out of control, like normal, but I guess I felt like something was missing. I wanted to be able to take more of a preventative approach, just I guess be able to control the things that would come up in a better way. I just kind of knew there was something else out there, but I didn't really know what it was. So, when my daughter would get sick, I didn't really, just as far as minor colds and things like that, I really didn't have anything to turn to. The doctors really didn't suggest much, to use on that young of a child. So it was just something where I kind of felt like my hands were tied. I didn't feel very confident, very empowered. And so that led me to really research on my own and find essential oils eventually. From that moment on, there's been very few times that I felt that helpless feeling. I think we all know that as moms. Sometimes we just feel very, very helpless. There's nothing we can do in these certain situations. We just kind of have to, let things happen the way they will, which, usually it would be fine. But my personal feelings on it, wouldn't you want to just feel more empowered? Wouldn't you want to feel like you were doing something for good? You were helping the body rather than hindering it at some points. And so that's really the thing that I had always been looking for, and the thing that I found when I found essential oils and started to implement them into my life. So that's really, kind of my story as far as how I got started with essential oils and kind of how it kind of played out. And so fast forward 2 years, I wanted to get pregnant again. Obviously, I wanted to have a second child. So I knew that it had taken me 2 years prior, and really started looking very intensely at ways that I could, help hopefully regulate my hormones naturally, and just try to give my body and set it up for the best it could be as far as the situations, obviously, that need to happen to get pregnant. So really had a lot of success with that. There's some amazing, I actually did a whole class on this, on how to balance your hormones naturally, and had a lot of success with that. I got pregnant within 2 months, had a great pregnancy. It's just a lot different when you have these things that you can use as things come up, just minor things, from swelling to just maybe stretch marks to constipation that you might have, different things, minor things that come up that you can, you have a tool, you don't have that helpless feeling, just say, well, I guess I'll just see how it turns out, and just kind of, just kind of go with whatever. It's just something that you feel like you're more in control, like you can do something preventatively. You can give your body what it's needing. And so just a different experience while pregnant. Now, during, when I got, ready to kind of look at giving birth, I knew that I wanted to go more the natural route. I didn't want to, get an epidural. That was my goal. And so researched a lot on how I can use different things and the different, just kind of a different experience altogether. So I was able to do that. With use, of some essential oils. Obviously, nothing's going to take the pain away, but it's something that I'm so happy that I did. I just think birth is an amazing experience, and the fact that I could experience that, without any kind of, I guess, taking away from that pain. I just think it's something that is beautiful, and that's the way God made it. And so I was very happy to be able to do that. And then, after obviously having an infant, those things come up. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But just as a whole, I just really feel like, using essential oils throughout that whole process was just such a gift and such a different experience than not having them. So that's kind of what I'm going to talk a little bit about tonight, how you can use essential oils and natural things to support your body in just a different way. I think a lot of times our body's crying out because it's not getting what it needs. And when you give it what it needs, it really is a beautiful thing. And so just wanted to go through, like I said briefly, what essential oils are, different things around that, and then move into the different pregnancy, birth, and baby. So let's hop right into what is an essential oil. So essential oils are just things from nature. They're things found in nature that you can extract the essential oil from. So that would be the bark of a tree, the root, the stem, the rind of a citrus fruit, different things that God gave us that we can use. They are steam distilled, except for the citrus rind that is cold pressed to get the essential oil out. They are more powerful than herbs. They are about 50 to 70 times stronger than an herb. And so that's why you only need 1 or 2 drops at any given time. I'm definitely going to talk about how to use these safely on babies and infants and different things like that. I know that comes up a lot, and I'm definitely going to address that. But, that's the amazing and wonderful thing about essential oils. They can be used, on anybody, any age. If they're used correctly, there's virtually no side effects, which is amazing. I mean, if you think about it, it's such a gift to not have to worry about having an adverse effect or, anything surrounding that, especially with the young children. You just worry a little bit more. They're so tiny, but these just work so well with your body that there's very little, if no, side effects. So why doTERRA? So just very briefly on such a just skimming over level, there's no industry standard or regulation. And so not all oils are created equal. And that really matters even more when you're thinking about using them on your children. And, I just think even if we were like, well, we'll just use whatever on ourselves, obviously we want better for our children. It's just something that you don't want to have to question. When you use an essential oil from doTERRA, you don't have to question it. It's going to be the most pure, every bottle is going to be the same. You don't have to worry about anything like that. Another thing is the plant material is sourced from its native region. That just means that it's going to be the highest quality plant that you can get. And each liter undergoes multiple tests, so that just ensures that it's going to be the same throughout each batch. In a nutshell, that is why you would want to choose doTERRA and why 4 million other people will choose it as well. Like I said, they're super safe when you use them, on anyone, especially infants. A lot of people they know how concentrated they are. They know how potent they are. So they're like, can I really use this on my young child? But, like I said, when they're diluted properly, when they're used in small amounts, it works perfectly with their body. It's able to support them, give them what it needs to really allow them to grow and function the way that God intended. Briefly, the 3 different ways to use essential oils. You can use them aromatically, the first way, and that is, I feel like that's probably starting off, at least that's the best way to get them around babies, especially because it's just so easy to use. First of all, you can get a diffuser. That's the way most people use them aromatically. You just pop off the top, fill it with water, and put 3 to 5 drops of oil in there and turn it on. And that creates a fine mist in the air. And what that does is it can clean the air, it can kill germs in the air, it can also, lift your mood, just different things like that. There's all kind of things that are going on when you use essential oils aromatically that you have no idea. So it's just a great way to get them around, your kids and your family in a very safe way. You could also just put some in your hand and just rub them together and kind of cup over your nose and mouth. That's a great way to use them aromatically. That lasts a very short amount of time, and if you diffuse essential oils, they can last hours, the benefits of them. So that's why a lot of people choose to use them in a diffuser that way. The second way is topically, and this is a very effective way. Remember at first when I first started, I just, you would think that you need to take, as an adult obviously, you need to take them internally, you need to use more, just, more is better, but that's not the way that you should think about it when you use essential oils, because, if we know that 1 drop of peppermint, let's say, equals 28 cups of peppermint tea, that's how potent they are. 1 drop, they're 50 to 70 times stronger than herbs. You just don't need as much, not that too much, as an adult is really going to harm you. It's just that you don't need that much, in your body knows exactly what to do with it. And so it uses it all up very efficiently. And so when we use small amounts more consistently throughout the day, so smaller amounts more often, that's actually better. That's how our body wants to use them and can use them the most efficiently. And so when you think about that, topically is a brilliant way to use essential oils, because when you put them on your skin, anything you put on your skin is absorbed and gets in your bloodstream. And so that's another reason why, especially on babies, that you would want to, think about what you're putting on their skin and what you're putting in the air. If you know all of these things affect them, if we're talking about essential oils, anything else affects them that way. So plug-ins or candles or, some kind of body wash that might not be of the cleanest ingredients is really not going to really benefit them in any way. So, if you think about it like that, of course, if you put an essential oil on your skin, it's going to get absorbed and it's going to work that way. So probably the best place to put essential oils, especially on babies and children, is the bottom of their feet, because it has very large pores, and that place on their body, the skin, is less sensitive. And so it's, we'll talk about that in just a minute, the skin sensitivity. But it's just a great place to put them, like I said, especially on babies and children, because you can cover them with socks, and you don't necessarily have to worry about them getting it in their eyes or anything like that if they touch it. So, I always recommend to put them on the bottom of their feet, especially when starting out. So, that's the second way. And obviously babies and kids can't use them internally. Now we could as an adult. So if that was you and you wanted to use them internally, you could put them in your water and drink, there's citrus oils. We love using citrus oils in our water around here. So 1 to 2 drops of lemon or wild orange is a great way to cleanse internally. And just, if you were to smell, wish you could smell this bottle of wild orange right now. It smells amazing. It really helps to lift your mood. We'll talk about that in post-birth. So about why you might want to use wild orange. And so, those are kind of the 3 different ways you use essential oils. And so now I wanted to kind of transition into the 3 different categories that we were going to talk about, I guess, blocks of time. So pregnancy is the first one. And so I think it's interesting, when you talk about pregnancy, there's so many different things that come up, and everybody's pregnancy is different. And, you just hear about some crazy things happening within pregnancy because your body is just so out of the norm. Yes, your body is made to do that, but just so many more hormones and different things are growing and stretching, and it's just an amazing process. But it can definitely bring up some interesting, side effects or things during that period. So I wanted to talk about what it means to have a great foundation during that time. And for me, what that means is giving my body the support that it needs. And so when thinking about that, taking a high quality multivitamin is absolutely key. I can definitely tell you that I thought I was taking a high quality multivitamin when I was pregnant with my daughter. Not that I had a terrible pregnancy, but I was just more tired. I had a few more of these things that I'll talk about come up. Just didn't feel as good as my second pregnancy, and I really attribute it to one thing that I did, and that was taking such a high quality multivitamin, and that is called the Lifelong Vitality Complex. And all multivitamins are not created equal. I mean, I was taking a whole food multivitamin. It was not cheap. I thought it was supporting my body the way I needed, but really if the multivitamins are not made in such a way that they're bioavailable, and that means that your body can use it right away once you take it, they're most likely made of synthetic vitamins and minerals, and your body doesn't know what to do with those as well as it does something that is made in a bioavailable way, and in a way that once you take it, your body knows exactly what to do with it, and it can put it to work right away and support your body and give it what it needs. When those cells are lacking oxygen and they're lacking nutrients that they need, or whatever it might be, your body doesn't function the way that it should. You don't have as much energy. You might have inflammation in your body, and that would show up in the form of like headaches or just overall sluggishness, different things like that. So this is one of the things that I think is key. Obviously, not a lot of people, they always tell you to take a multivitamin that has the folic acid in it because you need that. But not only do you need that, you need lots of other things. That's one that is crucial, during pregnancy and even before for neural, in brain, when it's forming in your child. But, in supporting your body and give it what it needs to make another human, you need lots more than just folate. And, the Lifelong Vitality does have the amount of folate that you need, but it also has lots of other things that's going to help support your body during that time. So let me go over the 3 different things that it has in this pack. First of all, it does have what's called, it's called the Microplex VMZ, and it is the whole food complex. So it has all your fruits and vegetables and your vitamins and minerals, different things like that, and you're more used to that. But it's in a bioavailable form so that your body knows exactly what to do with it and can use it right away. Next, there's the E Omega, and this is a fish oil complex that has different omegas in it. And I feel like this is probably one of the most missed things that we don't take. So nobody really ever told me that I needed to take something like this, but it's so important when you think about your own brain function, but definitely if you're growing another child in your, in your body, you need to give it what it needs. And so taking an omega complex is absolutely crucial. Not only does it help with brain function, obviously it helps with our heart function and different things like that, but what I noticed most was that I would get brain fog all the time, and that I would have headaches every day at work, and I didn't really know why, but it was because I wasn't giving my brain the fat that it needed. Back then I wasn't quite as educated, and I thought less fat is better in my diet. So I was really starving my brain of exactly what it needed. That's why I was crying out in the form of these small headaches that I would get every single day. And so this component of the Lifelong Vitality Pack is something that, glowing skin, it really helps with so many different things. And so I feel like at the very least, those 2 things are definitely a must. And the last supplement in this pack is called the Alpha CRS. And this is what gives you the antioxidant support. It's called the Cellular Vitality Complex. So it actually just supports your cells at the deepest level. It helps create more mitochondria in your cells. That's the powerhouse of your cell. That's what gives you energy. So that's what I noticed the most when I started taking this, was the brain function, but also the energy that I got from this. And I know that whether you're pregnant, or you're a new mom, you need energy. Like we have so many different jobs that we can hardly keep up. We just need more energy to, you want to feel good. You don't always want to feel just run down. And I know as a mom that can be very easy to do. And so this pack is definitely something that really everyone can benefit, but I feel like especially moms while pregnant and throughout the whole, especially when nursing, your body is just under a lot more stress trying to produce milk. And so that is definitely crucial as well. So that's foundational. So the second thing that I feel like is foundational as far as supplements is Terrazyme. And this is, it's a whole food complex that has digestive enzymes. And what that does is it helps assimilate our food. That means it gets the usable parts out of our food, and so that our body can use it. And then it helps to help the other things move on through our digestive system. And I remember very vividly that I had a major problem with things not moving very well during pregnancy, because I guess it's some hormone, I think it's progesterone that kind of stops that system up. And I would have loved to have this during that time, because it can really, really help with that symptom. But it just really, it helps our body's digestive system to work properly, which obviously we know is very crucial to overall health. So the third thing that is foundational is PB Assist. And this is a probiotic. And I know that a lot of people know that those are great and beneficial for us now, but why this is different is because it's double encapsulated. And what that does is it helps the probiotic fibers to get to where it needs to go in the small intestine. Lots of times when we take probiotics, they are killed by the stomach acid. They don't actually get to where they need to go to flourish and actually produce more good bacteria. So this actually helps it get down to where it needs to go. It has prebiotic fibers, which feed the probiotic fibers and help, again, to multiply the bacteria more. And all of the time this is good for us, but it's really especially good and beneficial when you're during pregnancy, especially in the third trimester, because that's when your colostrum is getting produced, and you want those good bacteria in there to help the baby obviously form that good bacteria in their stomach. And that can, I remember reading lots of different studies that show that, that first, I think it's within the first, the last part of the pregnancy and the first part of birth is crucial for forming what's called their microbiome. And that means all the bacteria in their stomach. So you just don't realize all those things that go on and how pivotal it is. So this is definitely something that's foundational. Okay, so moving on into the different things that can come up during pregnancy. And like I said, it's kind of wide range. It's something that everybody, experiences different things. But these are some of the more common things that come up during pregnancy. And so I'm going to go through different ones and kind of give you some ideas as far as different oils you can use, but also different natural things that will help with these things that come up. Really quickly, though, I wanted to refresh and see if there's been any comments. If you guys don't mind, I hate not being able to see them. Okay, I don't see any right now. All right, so first thing is reflux. And so this is something that is pretty common, especially once you get later on into pregnancy. Some things that can be great to help with this. Digestin is a digestive blend that has lots of different oils in it to help with digestive function, and that can also help with reflux. Lemon water, whether that's squeezing a lemon in your water or using lemon essential oil, just 1 or 2 drops in your water, can really help with reflux. Wild orange, again, can help with it. You could rub some right on your kind of chest right here. You could put some in your water. And apple cider vinegar has been shown to help with reflux. Just maybe dilute a little bit in some water and drink it. I would do that daily. A lot of times people do it one time, they don't see a difference, but you really have to do that daily to see a difference. So those are some kind of things that you can use for reflux. Nausea obviously is a huge one, especially in the first month or 2 of pregnancy. I know what helped me the most was peppermint. I thought I had a bottle right here. Peppermint is something that, I know a lot of you have experienced it. It's just so refreshing. And I think that's what helped me the most, was just smelling peppermint. I would just put some in the palm of my hand, rub it together, and just cup over my nose and mouth. Now, you could put some in a diffuser and diffuse it, but I felt like the concentrated was what I needed at that time. And so I would do that throughout the day, and it really, really helped take the edge off. Lemon oil done the same way can help with that. Ginger is actually really, really good for nausea. It helps block the nausea receptors, so it can be great for that. You can actually do the same thing with ginger. You can smell it if that helps. You kind of just have to try some of these different things. Everybody's different. You could rub some on your stomach. you could actually put some on your earlobe. I've heard that that is really helpful. They have their sensory points on your earlobe that can help with nausea, and so I've heard that some people got some relief with that. So those are probably the top ones. I would say digestion can help some, but I feel like the first three that I mentioned are probably some of the more common ones that I felt I had good results with, but other people did too. So swelling is another thing that comes up, especially during the latter parts of pregnancy. AromaTouch is like a miracle for this. I remember I had a little bit of swelling, and I would put a little bit of AromaTouch essential oil blend in my hand with some coconut oil or lotion and just rub it all over the bottom part of my leg, and it was almost like magic. Like, it really, really took down the swelling a lot. It just helps with circulation. So AromaTouch is just great for that. You could also put it in a bath if you wanted to soak in that. It's great in the bath too. It smells lovely as well. I like to put some on my neck if you're just feeling a little bit tight. AromaTouch is actually called a massage blend, so you could give yourself a little mini massage on your neck or wherever you're not feeling, loose and you're just kind of feeling tight there. You can definitely put some AromaTouch. It's a great blend. So breast tenderness is something that comes up especially in the first part of pregnancy. Lavender is really good for that. You can just put some coconut oil in your hand, put a little bit of lavender, and just massage all over your breast, and that should help a lot with the tenderness that you can feel. Sore muscles, lavender and deep blue. Also AromaTouch will be good for sore muscles. So, whatever that might be from, maybe your, back, isn't feeling that well, or they're all kind of aches and pains. So if you have any of that going on, any of those would be a great thing to just, like I said, massage in with some coconut oil or lotion. Stretch marks is a huge one that a lot of people try to combat, before pregnancy and of course afterwards as well. Immortal is a great blend to help with that. It has some great oils in it, frankincense and helichrysum and sandalwood. Some oils that are great for just scarring in general. So you can use this when you're pregnant. You can just put a little bit, a drop or two in some lotion and rub it all over your stomach and on your thighs or wherever you're worried about stretch marks. And you would need to do that every day. These things, especially like stretch marks, you're going to have to do these things every day to help combat that. And it really just helps the skin and the collagen and elasticity, so that it stretches, further, obviously, and just to prevent that tearing that happens during stretch marks. After you give birth, if you've had a C-section or if you have some stretch marks, you can do the same thing with putting, obviously you need to wait a little bit on your C-section scar, but you can begin putting Immortal on that, and it'll help hopefully decrease the appearance of that scar. And then sleeping. A lot of people have trouble sleeping during pregnancy. One of the things that I love to use was something called Naturally Calm. It's a magnesium supplement that you can buy. It's in a powder, and you can put it in a little bit of water and just drink it. I like to heat the water and put it in there. It kind of makes a little bit of a tea that you can drink before bed, and it tastes really good. They have different flavors, and most everybody is deficient in magnesium, so it really helps with any of those symptoms. Sleeplessness can be one, leg cramps can be one, constipation can be another one if you're deficient in magnesium. So taking this supplement every night really helped me sleep, plus all the other things, that can, if I was deficient in it, can help with that. Obviously, using essential oils can help us relax and sleep better. Lavender and cedarwood and vetiver and serenity, they're all great options for sleeping. You can put them on the bottom of your feet. You can put a drop on your pillow. You can turn your diffuser on. You can do all three. I usually put them on my feet and then put them in the diffuser, and really it just, I don't think if you've never used essential oils that you can really understand how much of an effect they can have in relaxing you until you try it. I can sit here and tell you all of the times that it's helped me, but just trying it for yourself and realizing how much it just allows your body to relax is amazing. So definitely need to try that if you have problems sleeping. Sorry, my phone is going to turn. Excuse me. All right, so the next thing I wanted to talk about was birth. So this is often a very kind of scary time, especially if you're a new mom, and or even any time really. So it's something that I was so grateful that I had essential oils for, and natural different things that I could do to support my body as it went through the birthing process. So I will admit I didn't have a bad, birth experience the first time. It did last a little bit longer than I wanted it to, which is not really that long. I think it lasted like actual labor was like 3 hours. But it's just something that it's so great to have these things to support your body through that process. It just made it that much easier. Whereas like beforehand, during recovery, it just was really, just a lot better of an experience. So wanted to just go through different things that I did and different things that you can do to just help, like I said, different things that come up. Obviously everybody's different. So as you're preparing for birth, a lot of times, you're worried about tearing and different things like that. You can actually use helichrysum or frankincense on your perineum. You can actually just start massaging it about a week or two before, and it helps that tissue kind of get a little bit stronger and help prevent tearing. So it kind of just conditions it to be stretched a lot. So that's a great thing that you can do beforehand. While you're going into labor, lots of times you have, obviously you're having contractions, you might have back pain. So using Deep Blue is a great thing to do when you have these different pains that come up. I use Deep Blue a lot. It's just a great blend to help with that tightness and the soreness and just the pain that you feel in your back. I probably went through a whole bottle of it, I feel like, in the last few weeks of pregnancy. It just feels like, your back just constantly kind of hurts. So that can definitely be a huge support. Also, black pepper is really great for back pain, especially during labor and that intense back pain. So I used that a good bit, as I was kind of transitioning into labor. Also, clary sage is really great for helping to speed up contractions, and it really helped me feel the contractions more. I remember, obviously, I'd had an epidural with my daughter, and so I couldn't feel the contractions, so I didn't know when to push, and so it was kind of counterintuitive. That's your body's way of letting you know when to push and getting the most out of each contraction. And so I really felt that. Obviously, I felt it, a lot more when I didn't have an epidural, but I feel like clary sage really helped me get the most out of my contractions and was able to deliver within 15 minutes. Not from when I first started having contractions, just wanted to clarify that. But it really, really made it a lot faster, and just I felt like it progressed my labor a lot more. And I can tell you, when you're having a natural birth, you want that to go as fast as possible. So I found it very helpful. And, clary sage is one of the ones that we usually tell people to avoid during pregnancy because it does have a strong effect on your hormones. And when your body's going through pregnancy, the first stages, even up until the end, it knows what it's doing. It doesn't need any help regulating your hormones. Now, afterwards is a different story, but definitely, you wouldn't really have any need to use that one. So we usually tell people to stay away. But at the end of pregnancy, during labor, it's definitely something that can help with those contractions. So let's see what other... during birth, if you're in a room, or if you just have, can get around a diffuser, it's a really great thing to diffuse in the birthing room, just because it creates a better environment. I remember, I was working with a regular doctor when I had my daughter, switched to a midwife when I had my son, just because I knew I wanted to do it naturally. And not that they wouldn't support me, the doctor wouldn't, but I just knew that a midwife would know, she's just more versed in that, I feel like. And so once I switched over, it's amazing what a difference the different things that she did made. When she just allowed me to walk around a lot more. That helped with my back pain and helped progress my labor. Also, when I got into the room, she lowered the light so that it wasn't like a huge light shining down. I had essential oils going, so it just created a totally different environment. So I would just, invite you to just think about what all you can do if you're, getting ready to give birth, what you can do to make that, that environment just a little bit better. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be a walk in the park, but it really does help with everybody's emotions and just trying to stay calm. You just want to stay calm during that time. So diffusing Balance or Wild Orange or Serenity or something like that can be really, really helpful. If you can't plug in the diffuser, just put a little bit on your wrist maybe. It really does help to just calm you and keep you more in control, if you can be in control during that time. Okay, so right after birth, I think this was probably one of the most special experiences, having these things to use and knowing exactly how to use them and how they would support, a new baby. It's something that it's just a very special time. So I wanted to kind of go through a little bit about what I used on my son, and I kind of went off, and I forgot to mention this. I went off a book that is by Stephanie Fritz. It's called Pregnancy, Birth, and Babies. I think that's what it's called. I'm sorry. I think I have it right here. Yeah, here we go. Sorry, I wanted to show you. This is an amazing book. It's called Essential Oils for Pregnancy, Birth, and Babies. It's by Stephanie Fritz, who is a midwife. And it's just a great resource. If you're looking for a good resource to use and read, it has different things that you can do to support your body all throughout pregnancy and then during birth and after. So I read this beforehand and got a lot of great information from that. And I did get this that I'm about to tell you from that. So she mentions putting oils on the baby pretty much right after birth and kind of what it does for them and how it supports them. So frankincense on the crown of the head. And people might think it's crazy to use essential oils on a baby that's that brand new, that was just born. But these oils, I mean, they're so pure that your body knows what to do with them. It is something that is a beautiful thing to be able to support a new baby in that way, that other than breast milk, obviously, you can't support it really in any other way as far as getting down deep into their cells and supporting their body that way. It's just a beautiful thing. And what frankincense does is it creates a sense of calm within them. Birth is a traumatic experience for a baby. They've just come from this womb inside of you that's been the same for 9 months, and now they're outside world, and it is very overwhelming for them. So frankincense can definitely help create a sense of calmness in them and in you. Myrrh, I put that on his umbilical cord. It helps to seal off things. They call it a liquid Band-Aid. It also helps, it has a lot of antiseptic properties, so it helps it heal quicker. And then Balance. It's great. Like I said, I already had it diffusing in the room, but it's a great thing. Obviously, we know that I just talked about how essential oils used aromatically can be such a great support system for everyone, but that includes a baby. So having it diffusing is a great way to create that type of experience within the room. So those are different things, that I used right after birth. So now let's talk about postpartum. So that can be an interesting time too. I remember my hormones were all over the place. I think that was one of the things that I hated most about I won't say hated. The thing that I just felt least in control of. I just remember sitting there just crying, and you just can't. You're just so not in control of your emotions, and I definitely did not like that, but it's a normal part of after you give birth. But I just would have loved to have something there to help support that, and I did after I had my son. This is an amazing blend called Clary Calm. It helps just try to get your hormones back in balance. It has lots of different oils that help in different ways in your body. So it was really one of the most helpful blends. While I was trying to get pregnant, obviously not during pregnant, we don't really need to, like I was saying, to get our hormones under control because our body knows what it's doing on that end. But after pregnancy is another story. So using Clary Calm can be so supportive in kind of, your body is obviously just went through that experience. It's trying to get back to normal. This helps it immensely. And so there was a huge difference after I had my daughter and after I had my son. So I was just very glad to be able to use that to hopefully, to combat some of those uncontrollable hormonal outbursts. If you've had a child, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because you just can't control it. Let's see. So after pains, that was something that I experienced a lot, especially because I breastfed, and my, that's when your uterus contracts back and all that things happen. It can be really painful. So white fur, lavender, and deep blue, it can be really helpful for after pains. You could put it right on your stomach. You could put it on the bottom of your feet. It can be really helpful for that. Obviously, if you have these different feelings of just not being in control, the Claricalm is great for that. Balance is also a really good one. It's called the grounding blend, so it kind of just helps bring everything back into focus for you, so it can help with your emotions being kind of out of control. Frankincense and wild orange can be helpful for this. Wild orange is really one that gets overlooked a lot. It just has this amazing ability just to be able to lift your mood. Whatever you're experiencing, just the smell alone, it just smells just so bright and fresh. So I loved using wild orange along with Balance is probably the one I use the most. You can diffuse it. You can put it on your wrist and just rub them together and kind of inhale that way. It's just a great thing to be able to use to help just kind of get everything back to normal and kind of combat some of that overwhelmed feeling. Obviously, you have a lot going on down there, so a lot of times, you're kind of needing support in that area as far as healing and all of that. So I made a little spray, peri spray, I guess you could call it, perineum spray. It had lavender and frankincense in it and a little bit of coconut oil and water. So you can just use that. Obviously, you wouldn't really want to touch much up there, down there I meant. So having a spray is very convenient. You can just spray it on, a few times a day, however often you need, and it really helps speed up the healing. And that's another thing that I noticed. Definitely helped not having an epidural or anything like that, but I healed up a lot faster. I had very little bleeding also. So I know that all of those things played a big role, in that. So let's move on to breastfeeding. So that's something that, oils can be used for as well. So if you have, if you want to kind of use something as far as, cracked and bleeding nipples, that can be something that can come up for sure. You can buy these creams, that you could put on. You can add essential oils to that. Lavender and Melaleuca would be probably the top ones that I would recommend. Or you can make your own just with coconut oil and those two oils and just use, however often you need to after every breastfeeding or whatever to just kind of combat that. I didn't have many problems with that, but some people have lots of problems as far as that goes. So that could definitely be helpful. If you wanted to increase your milk supply, you could use basil and fennel. Those are two of the top oils for that. I use this a lot because I was still working full time then, so I had to go back to work, and it was always a problem, trying to pump and just keep up my supply. So I use those two oils a lot. Obviously, diet is huge in this area. So making sure you're getting enough fats and proteins in your diet, eating enough calories is very, that's probably the thing that can affect your supply the most. If you're not eating enough and enough fats and proteins and drinking enough water, you're not going to produce quality milk. And that's what's going to make your baby, grow and just give it what it needs. So eating these things and making sure we try to stay away from sugar and processed foods and different things that aren't good for us can be really beneficial in that. For some reason, if you wanted to dry up your milk, I never had this issue. Mine just dried up on its own, obviously later on. But, just say for whatever reason you didn't want to breastfeed or you wanted to dry up your milk, peppermint is amazing at this. So I had to stay away from peppermint, obviously, all throughout, when I was breastfeeding, because it's very effective at drying up your milk. So especially using it internally. So if you wanted to dry up your milk, you could take a couple drops internally. You could just put some right here on your breast. It really works fast. So that can be used if you wanted to dry it up. And then if you had mastitis, hopefully, not, but it definitely can be something that can come up. You could use Melaleuca, lavender, and cypress. And you could just do, some right around the outer edges of the breast. You could put it in a veggie cap and take it. That just means taking it internally. So those are oils that can be supportive during that. So I just think it's amazing that we have these tools that we can use for basically, anything that can come up. There's an oil that you can use for that to help support your body. Not that it's always going to work 100% of the time. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I think it's just amazing that we have these. I'm just so thankful for that. When any of these things come up, I kind of go look in my little trusty book and just see what I can do about it. But it's a wonderful thing to be able to support your body in this way. So I wanted to move on to last topic. Our last category is babies. So, I think this is where I felt, the least empowered, because obviously we just deal, you kind of get used to dealing with things as they come up with you. But when it's your child, you want to be able to do something for them. And it's that feeling of knowing that you have something to turn to and that you have these different things that you can try to, they help, they support their body. They're not going to do any harm at any rate. They're not going to do any harm. So having these things to turn to is just an amazing gift. So, when you think about bringing a baby into your home, I just think it's really important to think about what kind of, toxicity level is your house at. Just try to think about decreasing the toxic load in your home can be huge. If you think about all of the different things this perfect little baby that just came out of, your womb is exposed to, I think it's something like 200 to 300 different toxins and chemicals that it's exposed to at birth. It's just kind of overwhelming. And so anything that we can do to decrease the toxic load in our homes will be, nothing but good for them. So whether that be, getting rid of the candles and the air fresheners and the chemical cleaners. These are things that really make a huge difference that we don't really realize are such a detriment, to our health and to their health. So I wanted to mention that and just think about the products that you use on them too, like the baby wash and the lotions and different things. All those things smell great that you buy at the store, but I'm telling you, they're loaded with toxins and chemicals, and it's just they get into their little body, and their body isn't as efficient at getting rid of those things as our body is. So that the buildup happens quicker, and their body really just gets overloaded with those things. And so, I know that no mom wants to do that knowingly, but the more you know, the more that you should want to cut out that kind of thing. So that's I could talk about that in a whole nother class, but just wanted to mention that. So when you're thinking about using essential oils on babies, we know that they're that concentrated. You really want to dilute more. And what that means is that you would just put, the essential oils in something called a carrier oil. And that would be, more than likely, it's probably going to be coconut oil, just because to me, that's one of the best oils to dilute with, because it absorbs easily on your skin. And it's not greasy, so it doesn't leave kind of like a greasy film on it like olive oil or something like that would. So I can actually post a document that kind of goes into more detail about this. But when you're thinking about how much a baby would need, it would really be like 1/4 of a drop most of the time. And so the only way that you would really get that is to just dilute more. So you would want to use about a tablespoon of coconut oil with 1 drop of essential oil would probably be a good ratio to use. So I wanted to just say that, kind of upfront, that you would definitely always want to dilute on a baby. And, less is more. So if you wanted to start out even less than that and see how it did, and you can always add more, that would be a great thing to do. So I wanted to go over some of the different things that might come up, just like I did in the other categories. So stomach issues is a huge deal, especially in the first month or two. Their digestive system is forming, and they're having all these gas pains and different things that they might even be constipated. All these things can happen, and it's really, most of those things get worked out. But at the time, it's a really big deal because it can be really painful and keeps them up and all of that fun stuff. So I wanted to give you a few options of essential oils to use for that. Digestin is obviously a really good one, the digestive blend. Any of these that I'm going to mention, you would really the best way to use them would be just to obviously dilute them with the carrier oil and then just apply it directly to their stomach. It's going to get absorbed quicker there because it's getting right to the area. And so you could put it on their feet, but I feel like putting it on their stomach in this case would be the best option. So Digestin Wild Orange is another great one. It can be really helpful, especially with constipation, upset stomach. It's just great at regulating the stomach as far as calming it down and getting it regulated. So Digestin Wild Orange. Fennel is another great one. Fennel's great for gas. A lot of babies are gassy sometimes, so fennel can work really well with that. And then cardamom is another one that's great for stomach issues. So, you know, every baby is different. So trying different ones of these and seeing what works is probably what you're going to have to do, because like I said, you just never know. Congestion is another thing that comes up quite often. Diffusing is really the best way to kind of go about supporting their body with this issue. Congestion and cough, I would say, I would group those together. So using something like Breathe in the diffuser, it's the respiratory blend, and it's a great blend to help support their respiratory system and just help keep it open. Cardamom is another good one for respiratory health. So those two, either one of those in the diffuser would be a great option to help support them with that. You know, a lot of times at night they get congested, so you could put it in their room at night. You could just put, I would probably, especially for young babies, I would probably put 1 to 2 drops in a diffuser, just because it has peppermint in it, so it is the smell is pretty strong, so you would want to use maybe less of that, especially if it was a 1 to 2 month old baby. So diaper rash is another thing that can come up. Lavender and Melaleuca, again, they're one of the most common ones to use, especially lavender is probably the most common oil to use for babies, but that is great to help soothe you know, irritated skin. So you could add these oils to whatever you were already using, or you could just put some of those in coconut oil. Would be a really easy way to get that on that area. You can just kind of apply as needed after every diaper change, just like you would normal you know, that you would buy at the store, normal diaper paste or rash cream. So, you know, at night, if they have issues kind of falling to sleep or calming down, you can obviously use some of the essential oils I mentioned earlier as far as, you know, helping us sleep. We can use the same one. So lavender is always a great first choice. Serenity is another good one, and cedarwood. Those will be great choices. You could put them in a diffuser. And just helps, you know, just helps kind of calm them down, helps calm their nervous system down, and helps them kind of drift off to sleep. And then teething, that's another one that comes up. You know, it seems like they teeth forever, like two plus years. So lavender is the first choice. Again, I'm telling you, lavender is like the first choice for a lot of things. So just putting some with a carrier oil and then just putting it right here in their jawline, and even getting back here by their ear, because sometimes, you know how if you have teeth pain, it kind of affect way back here in your ears. So just putting all along the jawline can be really effective for teething. Just that oil alone is really all that my daughter needed. Now my son, I added these other oils to it at times. It seemed like he had a little bit more issues with that. So lavender would be first choice, and then you could also add frankincense to that. And then thirdly, you can add all 3 of these together if you needed it. White fir. So you could do lavender, frankincense, and white fir. White fir, I know you remember me mentioning it as far as after pains. It can really help with pains as far as just general pains in the body. So it helps with teeth pain as well. So you could do the same thing, add those oils to some coconut oil and just put them right along the jawline. Now in extreme teething situations, you can actually dilute a little bit of clove and rub it on the inside of their mouth. I didn't do that very much. I just did it on the outside of the jawline because it worked very well that way, and I just kind of stuck to that. But you can dilute clove, and you know, clove is numbing, so it's going to help numb that area. And so just make sure you dilute it way down because it is very spicy. So you wouldn't want to, you know, make them have an adverse effect with that and it kind of burn their mouth. So, those are kind of the things that I wanted to go through as far as how to support your body through, pregnancy to birth to babies. And I just really feel like having these tools is just such an amazing feeling as a mom, going through pregnancy and all the way birth, and then after you have the baby, just to know that you just are more in control. You can give your body what it needs and just support it on a whole other level. It's just really something that I'm so thankful to have. Really quickly, I wanted to see if I could see if I had any questions, and then I'm going to go in to kind of how you get these into your home. Okay, I can't see all the questions now, but I'll go back and answer them if you've asked any. So if you're new and you've never, if you don't have essential oils into your home, I wanted to tell you really quickly how you can go about getting them into your home and kind of the process and the benefits of getting a membership and all of that. So, doTERRA makes it really easy. If you want to get started and you want to bring these into your home, to get those at the lowest price, they offer a membership, and it's a year-long membership for $35. And it is, I love to say, it's very similar to a Sam's Club membership, because it really is. You just pay that $35 fee, and then for the whole rest of the year, you can get anything you want at wholesale price, which is 25% off retail. Now, you can add whatever oils onto that fee that you want. You can kind of make your own starter kit, I guess you could say. Or most people start with a pre-built starter kit. And all that really means is that they bundle these products together because they're the most common oils. They're what's going to give you the best start as far as just introducing these into your home and the different things that come up. It's, at any time, but obviously if you're going through this time, they're going to give you just some great things to have on hand. My absolute favorite starter kit is the Home Essentials kit. And, I'm going to post the kits once I get off just so you can look at them and see which one is best for you if you're looking to get started in this. But the reason why I love this kit so much is because it has the 10 most popular oils in it, but it also has a diffuser, whereas some of the smaller kits don't have a diffuser. And really, anybody that's getting started with oils needs a diffuser, but especially if you're pregnant and you're going through birth and afterwards having a child, it's such an easy way to get started with oils and use them around your kids and through this process. So having a diffuser is really key in my opinion. Also love this kit because this month especially, it's going to get you, we're having a promotion this month, whereas if you buy a certain amount, you get a free Deep Blue rub and a Deep Blue roller bottle, which is, obviously I talked about Deep Blue a good bit, and it's something that I used a lot, during pregnancy and birth. So, and really, let's face it, I use it all the time now too. It's one of my favorite oils in general. But you're going to get that for free if you buy, a kit of this value. So I'll post about all that when I get off, though. Just wanted to mention this kit in specifically because also, if you're looking at all the kits and you wonder the size of the bottles, so this is a 5 ml bottle and that's a 15 ml bottle. So with the Home Essentials kit, you're going to get the bigger bottles, which is 3 times the amount of oil. It's just a better value. The Home Essentials kit and the Natural Solutions are the 2 best values in my opinion. So wanted to mention that. Like I said, I'm going to post all of those when I get off, but the promotion from doTERRA is that you get those free. And then if, I know that Leslie and she got this class together. So if she invited you to this class and you want to get started, you're going to get a free bottle of Clary Calm. This is my favorite blend for hormones. And since we were doing this class, and it's basically a hormones class, right? And this can be so supportive before pregnancy and after. I feel like I wanted to give away one of those. So if you are looking to get started, I'll be happy to help you. She will. But if you get started with this kit, you'll get a free bottle of that too. So just a little special gift from me. Lastly, I wanted to give away something for you all being on live. I appreciate you all staying on. So if you're still on, comment that you're here and you'll be entered into a giveaway to win a free book. This is called The Essential Life Book, and it is the best resource book for getting started with essential oils. And just, I mean, I use it all the time. I reference this almost every day. I mean, it's a beautiful book. It has lots of recipes, and you can look up by oil or by ailment and just kind of figure out, you know, what the best oils are for that. So anybody that's on, go ahead and comment, and I will enter you and post the winner once we get off. Now, one last thing I did want to mention, you know, kind of getting started, you know, with essential oils. You might think, you know, is it worth it? Is it worth the investment? Yes, I know there's investment up front. I totally get that. But I think that you just don't understand exactly what you're getting, you know, when you sign up for this. Because I remember when I first signed up, I was, yeah, I'll try it. But I mean, when I look back, everything changed. You know, it's just amazing the things that, you know, that essential oils can do for you, but it's that empowerment that it gives you as a mom to know that you have these tools to turn to. It's absolutely priceless. And so I can tell you, if you've been waiting, you know, why wait? Why wait on that? Because it's just an amazing thing to have these tools, you know, in your home, to empower your kids as well. Just to know that my kids know that if they have something going on, whether that be emotional, physical, anything like that, they're going to turn to the oils first, because that's what I do. That's what I teach them to do. I teach them to listen to their body and to then go and, you know, and help give it what it needs. And so to me, that's priceless. That's teaching them to listen to their body and to just give it what it needs. And that's so rare. You know, we kind of go through life and we just, we're here, we're there. We're not really, you know, paying attention to any of these signs that our body's telling us. So it's just something that bringing oils into your home is much more than, you know, using them for one thing or another. You're going to use them for everything. They're so multi-use. So it's definitely worth it. If it's your time to get started, we'll be glad to help you. You know, getting a membership, you get access to all of the things that our team provides. You know, we spend countless hours putting together, you know, all of these things to help support you, because this is going to be, if it's new for you, if you've never used essential oils, just like I did 4 years ago, you're going to need help. You're going to need support, because you're not going to know how to use these right away. You know, it's going to be a learning curve. So you're going to get that support. We have a Facebook group. We have lots of resources. So it's definitely a lot more than just, you know, getting them at a discounted price. It's a community that's going to be able to help you integrate these into your life in the best way possible. So that's my spiel. I'm sorry I can't read your comments, but I'm going to go back. If there's any questions that have been unanswered, I will make sure to answer those. And I'm just thankful that you're able to get on. If there's anybody that you would love to add to the group, that feel free to invite them. They can watch this recording. It'll be up for 2 days. But after that, I'm going to go download it, and it'll be on our YouTube channel. Our brand, me and my sister have a brand, Natural Health. It's called A Natural Shift. And so you can search that on YouTube, and all of our videos that we've done will show up on there. So it'll be on there after the 2 days. So get with whoever invited you if you're ready to get started with oils, and we'll be glad to help you. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you later. Y'all have a great night. Bye.